Ladies, imagine this. You're minding your business in your beautiful Tuscan wheat field with your son. Your biblically noble husband is off fighting to expand the Roman Empire, and you don't even get a line of dialogue or a name before soldiers show up and savagely murder you, all because Joaquin Phoenix is so annoying even his father doesn't love him. Jokes aside, did you know that actress Giannina Facio is now married to Ridley Scott? Because I did not know that. I refuse to make a pun in this intro about being entertained, but I have to say, I revisited Gladiator for the first time since maybe high school ahead of Gladiator 2, and I have since watched it 2 more times. It is like the most rewatchable movie ever. A lot of people are watching it to prepare for Gladiator 2, and you guys said it would be fun to revisit it, but I have not done a lot of reviews like this of older movies on my channel, so bear with me. We're going to talk about why I think it has stood the test of time as a quintessential dad movie, one of Ridley Scott's most beloved movies. I'm going to go through my 5 favorite scenes and some of my favorite quotes because there are a lot of really great ones in here. Please let me know yours below in the comments. But while I was researching this, I watched a really awesome Gladiator behind the scenes series that you can find on YouTube. I'll link it below. But I came away from it totally mind blown by the impact of one man on this movie, William Nicholson. William Nicholson is a writer with plenty of recognizable credits. Recently, 13 Lives, Unbroken, Les Mis. He was brought in very late in the writing process and kind of saved the movie. He was the one who decided that Maximus's wife and son would be killed, and I think that is far and away the most important decision that they made when creating this story. He said in an interview that the script he originally read was a story about a man who wanted to kill someone. It was simply a revenge story, and he didn't really want to watch a movie about some guy who wants to kill someone, but a man who loves someone, a man who just wants to be home, and how they crafted this spiritual element of the afterlife. It makes Maximus not only more compelling and relatable, but this was actually what made him appeal more to a female audience as well. Maximus is not classically masculine. He's a reluctant leader. He doesn't want to fight or kill, so we feel the weight of his actions because he's essentially forced into it by a man who is deeply jealous, insecure, and spiteful. It created this shift from his ultimate goal being the death of Commodus to it also being about his own death as well, so he can reunite with his family. So you don't really have a choice but to root for the guy. There is the bit where he may or may not have cheated on his wife now that it's confirmed in the sequel that Lucius is his son, but nobody's perfect. Even if it wasn't the original intention, the scene at the battle camp where there's so much tension between Maximus and Lucilla and they both say they have an 8-year-old son, you're like, wait a second. This is the 5th Ridley Scott movie that I've reviewed on here, and I do not get tired of talking about how much of a genius he is and how beautiful his films are. They don't call him Ridley every frame a painting Scott for nothing. No one calls him that, but maybe we should. Every cast member, when asked in Gladiator 2 interviews which shot from the film they would want to hang on their wall, they all said they would frame Ridley Scott's storyboards. I do have a fear that he's one of the last of a really special kind of blockbuster filmmaker who understands how to use the medium to its fullest potential and has the street cred to actually command a production. There are so many incredible images in this. He has such a talent for understanding what the audience will find exciting. And the cinematographer, John Mattison, the VFX team, the production design, it's spectacular. I wish I could just make this a montage of stills from this movie. And I noticed rewatching it, it has to be intentional that so many of the men, but especially Commodus, will have their faces lit so that half of it is cast in shadow. And Joaquin Phoenix will sometimes have his eyes completely shadowed over and just look scary. Meanwhile, Lucilla is typically very evenly lit and looks like the most beautiful woman who ever walked the earth. Especially as Maximus is dying, she looks like an angel. Which brings me to my favorite scenes. Rest in peace to a legend, but the scene where Maximus dies after he's finally taken down Commodus and created hope for a better Rome and finally lets go, I mean, everything leading up to that is so exciting, it's so satisfying. I think that imagery of the afterlife and the wheat is what stuck with me the most after I watched it for the first time. I also love the battle scene in Germania at the beginning of the film. It's very similar to my favorite battle scene in Napoleon. There's something about Ridley Scott in the woods. I agree with criticisms about the editing in certain sequences and how it can just feel like a total clusterfuck, but I think in this one, the sort of guerrilla style, middle of the action approach, the slow-mo, the quick cuts, it kind of works here and makes you feel like you're in the middle of the chaos. Of course, the moment where Maximus reveals his true identity. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Commander of the armies of the North. General of the Felix Legions. Loyal servant to the true Emperor, Marcus Aurelius. Father to a murdered son. Husband to a murdered wife. And I will have my vengeance. In this life or the next.
Hans Zimmer's booming, triumphant score comes in. It turns into Pirates of the Caribbean. It's so epic. The tiger fight, naturally, with the Tigress of Gaul, Maximus the Merciful. I love this scene because it's where it becomes clear that Maximus has won over the people of Rome. He has officially, in that way, become more powerful than Commodus. Their little game is over. Russell Crowe also gets to drop, "I have only one more life to take, then it is done." The conversation between Commodus and Marcus Aurelius, where he tells him he will not be the emperor of Rome. Woof. Truly one of my favorite scenes. You almost feel for the guy. Like, there is no wondering here. His dad does not love him and thinks he's a bad person and does not have values that he respects. This is why you lie to your kids, because they may kill you. So those are my top 5 scenes, and you may be thinking, where is the moment? Are you not entertained? And it's of course the greatest quote from this movie, but I had, like, rewatching it, some weird Mandela effect where I thought that he said it in the Colosseum, but he actually doesn't. It happens when he's still just the humble Spaniard in Zucabar. Honorable mentions to Marcus Aurelius owning Commodus when he comes in and says, "Have I missed the battle?" And he says, "You have missed the war." I also think it's very funny when Marcus Aurelius asks Maximus if he wants to be emperor, and he says, "With all my heart, no." I need to start using that. And shout out to all of Maximus's one-liners like,
"What we do in life echoes in eternity." I knew a man who once said, "Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back." The frost. Sometimes it makes the blade stick.
There are so many moments I could note, whether it's like every conversation between Lucilla and Maximus, especially the one where she kind of stands up to him down in the Gladiator chamber. She is really such a great character. I love the line in Germania where he says that he thinks she has a talent for survival. It sums her up so well. I think she is just as compelling as Maximus or Commodus, thanks to Connie Nielsen's performance, but also how she's characterized as being more fit to rule than a lot of these men, but instead has to navigate some pretty terrible situations as a woman during that time. It's really no wonder this was nominated for like every Oscar and won 5 of them. Russell Crowe absolutely deserved this win. He's as enchanting as a movie star can get. Joaquin Phoenix inspired decades of snotty, sadistic leaders and media. Plus, I mean, Richard Harris as Marcus Aurelius, Oliver Reed as Proximo, Jimon Hansu as Juba. Everywhere you look, there's a great line reading or some juicy drama or a fun action sequence. As people are watching this before Gladiator 2, whether it's for the first time or rewatch, I'm seeing some people say that they love it and some people saying that it's not really all that, but I love this movie. I think I watched it too many times, and now I just see it as like this perfect combination of intimate character and epic scale, history and fantasy, brutality and earnest melodrama, beauty and grit. It may not be one of the great movies, but you can't really ask for much better when it comes to just classic grand scale entertainment directed by one of the greatest to ever do it. So I'm going to give Gladiator 4.5 out of 5 stars. Apologies if you came here for a straight recap. I'm not your guy for that, but hopefully you could glean some stuff along the way. I hope everyone enjoys Glicid Weekend. My review for Gladiator 2 is already up if you want to check it out. But let me know your thoughts on Gladiator, your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, if you think it holds up. Are you going to check out Gladiator 2? But thanks for hanging in for this video. I hope there are many more retro reviews to come because it was really fun doing this. So don't forget to like and subscribe and keep an eye out for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.